Hi campers, back on the bike. Hi campers, hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. I'm back out on the Brompton. Had a quick change of tops upon arrival because I was sweating my nuts off. Got garments hanging up around the woods drying out. Oh dear, but good to get out on the bike nonetheless and take it out on the trails again. It's been a while. Well, it's been a while since it's appeared on video. I use the bike frequently through the weeks, through most of the work week as part of my commute to work, so it's getting a lot of use, but I haven't had it out on any adventures lately, so here it is. And it's good to be back out on it. Left the car at home, put a few miles on that this morning, most of which was sort of out on the roads, built up area, so I didn't want to film that because wasn't very photogenic. And yeah, so I switched the camera on once I got into the woods, but I've loaded it up a bit differently this time compared to the last time I took it out a few months back. Back then I had all my heavyweight kit, my sort of wax canvas tarp, my wall bedroll, all the good stuff. But this time I've sort of pared things down quite a bit. Bulk of the camping kit is in the front bag there, and I've just got a sleeping pad and a smock on the back, and a few sort of sundry items in the saddle bag there. So yeah, got plenty to sustain me for the camp today. I'm here for tonight, back off again in the morning in my usual sort of woodland spot that I come to. So it's about 5 or so miles from my front door to this place on the bike, but it's quite a hilly route, so got a bit of a sweat on, but it's nice and early. Well, it's saying it's just turned 7 o'clock, so got the whole day ahead of me, and I'll get the tarp up shortly, decide where I'm going to pitch. Then I'll get the firebox lit for a brew. I think I haven't brought me my spirit burner today, or in my sort of that sort of camping stove kit. Just got the firebox and the twigs around me to keep me in brews and hot food. But hey ho, it'll be fun nonetheless. But I've got some good food to cook later. Got some fish, some hot dogs, and I'm going to wrap in cheese and stuff with cheese and wrap in bacon. You've seen me do that before if you've watched some of my older videos. Might have a beer on board, a few treats. Yeah, gonna have a fun day. So I'll bring you along for the ride. So I've just, before I do anything else today folks, I've just come out of the grassland here and collected a bit of dead grass from the sort of the tufts and thickets here. Just pulling up all the dead stuff, but still quite early in the day. There's a bit of dew on the ground, so it's a bit damp at the minute. So I'm going to stuff a load of that in my pocket and dry some of it out, then use it to light the fire a bit later on. So I'm going to gather a few more resources whilst I'm out here too. Have a little look round. This is what I'm after. Some of these burdock leaves, just a couple. Gonna use them as a serving plate for my fish later. Right folks, so I've got a bit of wood prepped. Got a bit of a bird's nest made. The grass is still damp. I can feel it's a bit damp, but I've put a little bit of jute twine that I've roughed up into the centre of it, so that might help it along a bit. Don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll see what happens. And then here I've got my little fire tin, got my steel, bit of flint and a bit of char cloth in here as well. I shall probably use a generous amount of char cloth, put some of that into the bird's nest as well, and give it a crack. It's been a while since I've done this, so that should be fun. One thing I always remember about these, you have to have a bit of a limp wrist. Oh, we're off. Got that there. So that's going to go in. It's going to smoke like a good one. Come on, girl. You can do it. Do you know, I think we might have done it, folks. I think we might be there. Yeah, I'm calling it. We got it done. Genuinely, folks, I didn't think that was going to work because the grass I could feel was quite wet. But I suspect the jute twine and the extra char cloth just gave it the energy that it needed to take. So there you go. I've got a bit more grass over there drying out, so I might do it again a little bit later and just try it with the grass next time and not add any jute to one. Sweet. It's brew time. Nice bit of crumpet for breakfast. There we go. Nice cup of tea and some crumpets, folks. Served up in the firebox. Lovely jubbly. So there we go then, folks, that's me sorted for the day. Got the tarp up. I haven't put the bivvy bag and sleeping bag out yet, but I'll throw it underneath that later. Sweaty top out drying. Got the bike folded up and underneath the tarp. Fire going. Just collected some nettles, because my next task is to make a cooking rig, because I'm going to try and ponasse some sea bass that I bought. I'm not sure if it's going to work yet because of the way the sea bass has been prepared. Wasn't too sure, but we'll see and we'll give it a go. I've also collected some hazel on the way into the woods this morning, which I'm going to use to sort of make the cooking rig. The nettles I'm going to turn into cordage, and I'll probably eat some of the leaves as well as some greens to go with the fish later as well. So yeah, I'll bring you along on that one. But otherwise the tarp's all set up nicely. Got it a bit of a lean-to with a little porch bit there. Yeah, nice spot. I should probably let that burn down now. I don't need to keep it burning now, and I'll fire it up again at lunchtime when I want to cook the fish. Look at that, sun's up, looking lovely. Those that know about making nettle cordage will know that I'm being a bit of a wimp at the moment by wearing gloves, but so what, I don't care. I've got delicate office worker hands. Do you know, the funny thing about me making this cordage is that I've got some over there in my bag I could use, but I thought it would be more fun to make some natural cordage. You don't have to if you don't want to. So all I'm doing here is breaking down the fibres, folks, which I'll then process in the next stage. So now that I've sort of bashed the fibres a little bit and broken the fibres down, the next thing I'm trying to do is remove this sort of hard, pithy centre. So that, because what I want is the outside fibres here. So that's what I'm left with, sort of stringy outer section of the stem, and then I can just break that down into long strands. It's really hard doing this with a plaster on your thumb. Don't cut yourself, folks. They don't have to be consistent sizes, these bits. You can, there you go. So I'm going to hang them up on the ridge line now for a half hour and just leave that to dry for a bit, and then I'll twiddle them into cordage. I don't need to make too much for my cooking rig, just enough to sort of do a nice sort of clove hitch on the top. So hopefully that should work nicely. So back at it, folks. I've been just laying down, chilling out for half hour whilst this cordage hung on the guy line there, just to sort of air dry a little bit. It's still wet. It will take a little while to dry out properly, but it should be okay for me to start twiddling it into some cordage now. So I've just got two pieces here that I'm going to combine into one sort of bit of cordage. I'm hindered slightly here because I've got plaster on my thumb. I cut my thumb yesterday, stupidly, and so yeah, got plaster in it, which is stopping me from twisting this as much as I'd like. But I'm just going to start twisting both ends. Just keep twisting it, and then eventually it will twist on itself. There we go. And it will do that. I'll just do that again just to show. So I'm going to grab that bit, twist that, pull that round, twist that, and there we go. And I'm just going to repeat that process now. I'm going to keep twisting that round, holding that tight, and then with my two fingers here I'm going to grab the bottom bit and then rotate it round, and then twist that bit, grab the bottom bit, rotate it round, and I'll just carry on until I run out, and then I'll feed in some more cordage until I get to a length that I so there we go then, folks. I've got about, I don't know, 18 inches worth there. It's not the neatest, but it should do what I need it to do, which is bind together that frame for my my fish when I cook it in a moment. So I'll show you how that goes in a bit. Gonna get the fire going again now. No, it's 10 past 11. That was about half hour's worth of twiddling. So I'm gonna get the fire going now, and then
get ready for lunch. There we go. Get it in there now. Ain't got quite as much grass this time, so hopefully it'll be alright. Oh. Making sort of noises I want it to make.
Right folks, so I've got here some nice sea bass. I'm just going to take out the packet. I've got 2 of these, so I'm going to cook one on the sticks. It's been butterfly there, so I've got to be careful about how I do this. So the plan is to put the fish into the stick, and the split end of the stick. I've got my needles. Pierce a hole there. And a hole there. Feed the needle through. Thought I heard a deer there. Same again down the bottom. And then using my cordage, let's get the sticks for a bit more. Tie this closed. I'm going to do a bit of a clove hitch, I think. This is probably not the best filming I've ever done. Come on, you bugger. There we go. So I'll just flip the fish around to cook the back for a bit, but that's cooking quite nicely, quite slowly, but I expected that. I reckon it'll be another 20 or so minutes yet. A little bit worried about the nettle cordages though. It's getting a bit caught on the fire a little bit, but just have to chance it. Alright folks, I think we're looking pretty good. I've tasted a little bit already. It's coming away nicely. Lovely. Being a little bit paranoid with it, I want to make sure it's cooked through properly. But that rig's worked pretty well. The cordage was just hanging in there. Alright folks, so just laid it down on my little bed of leaves here, and that's looking alright. So I'm just getting another brew on the go. Haven't quite brought enough water with me today, I don't think. I've got about 1.5 litres left to last me, so I might have to get some water from the cow trough later. We'll see. But most of my jobs are done now. I've got plenty of wood gathered. I think I might have a little whittle this afternoon, maybe make a wood wizard or something, I'm not sure yet. But I'm just going to chill now. Main thing I wanted to do was cook that fish, ponasse it in that sort of style that you saw, make some cordage, and I'm really pleased that I've done that. So been wanting to do that for a while, so yeah, I'm just going to chill out a bit now, listen to nature. So just knocked up this A-frame. It's not perfect because I didn't have enough cordage to tie these this cross section on, so I've just cut out some notches for it to slot into place. But I want to say a thank you to Eddie, our mucker on YouTube, aka Mac Tightwad, who gifted me this this chair, and it's the first time I've used it. I want to say yes. I haven't picked the longest pieces of wood to make the frame, hence I'm a bit pinched here, but I've got a seat with a nice backrest to it. That's a damn sight more comfortable than the stump. So I just want to say thank you very much, Eddie, that's very kind of you. It weighs nothing as well, there's a bit of fabric, just chuck it in your bag. And if I had a little bit more cordage on me, I didn't realise I didn't have very much. I've just had to redeploy a guy line off the top. But if I had a bit more cordage, it would have gone together much easier. But even then, it only took me about 15 minutes to cut the frame up. So yeah, thank you very much. That's why you need the cordage. Yeah. So ideally you want to tie these pieces in, lash them up with a Canadian jam knot or something. So in terms of sleeping arrangements tonight, I've got me British Army bivvy bag, Gore-Tex bivvy bag. And because it's getting warmer now, the weather, dropped down to me snug pack, travel pack 1. It's 1 season sleeping bag. It's got a comfort of around about 7 degrees. I think it's going to go down to about that tonight. So, allied with the bivvy bag and base layers that I'll be wearing, should be absolutely fine. Famous last words. But yes, good to get this out. It's a nice lightweight sleeping bag, plenty comfortable enough, and because it's nice and lightweight and packed small, I can get away with sort of a more compact sort of loadout for the bag really. And that's me done. Then I bought a little bag, a little pillowcase here, because I didn't bring an inflatable pillow this time. I thought I'd just keep it nice and simple. Underneath I've got the sort of cut down section of foam pad, and the outhouse ground mat. This is a half body length one, which my wife got me for Christmas actually, and I really like using it. I've only used it a couple of times, but it's been really nice to have out. Booster that pillow up when I go to bed later with whatever clothes I don't wear. Got me smock and fleece there as well. Oh yeah, very basic setup, but it's nice and comfortable for me. I shall sleep well in this tonight, I think. Happy days. Yeah, I know. Batting in with the Mearsey knife is not allowed, right? There we go then folks, a bit of a, pardon my fingers, bit of a wood wizard. Just got to burn a little bit of stick to make some chalk to colour in some eyes. I haven't got a pencil with me, so I'll char the end of a stick when I get the fire going in a bit. But yeah, I shall leave him out on the trail somewhere tomorrow morning, I think. One thing I thought I'd share with you folks about, because I've shown myself using this knife a fair few times now in this video and the previous one. This of course is the Barneys Bushcraft knife that I got for my 40th birthday. Very proud of it, and very keen to use it as well and not make it a sort of something you hide away and you draw at home, protecting it. But one thing I've been getting in the habit of is taking out a sort of knife maintenance kit with me whenever I go out now. So I've always got a bandana in my pocket. I normally got two actually. I keep one dry and one for sort of mopping my sweaty brow and whatnot. And so yeah, I've always got a bandana in my pocket, and then in a little pouch in my bag I've got a tin of Vaseline, a strop, homemade strop, a bit of leather from a sofa on a piece of oak with some polishing compound on it, and a Foul-Niven CC4 sharpening stone. And these pieces here enable me to ensure that I give this knife a hard time and use it well, but every time I'm using it, at the end of the day, I'll give it a nice sort of clean, make sure it's dry, which I think is quite important, especially if you're using it in wet conditions, because it's carbon steel, it will rust. And then I'll give it a thin coat of Vaseline, and that Vaseline is just an extra sort of layer of protection from the rust, really. And I got that little tip off of my mate Chris, Wilderness Nomad. We were chatting about it fairly recently on our sort of WhatsApp group, best way to maintain knives and what have you, and Chris suggested Vaseline is a good sort of cheap way, because you can spend loads of money on expensive oils and whatnot, but Vaseline so far has been working really well for me. And the knife is been getting a lot of use, but it's still nice and looking in good tip-top condition, and yeah, long may that continue. Right, onwards. Hi campers, I've just got the fire going again. I didn't want to show you a third time at fire lighting. I think two's enough for you. I just lit up some birch bark and used that this time. But I'm going to cook dinner now. So I've got some jumbo frankfurters, some red Leicester cheese, and some streaky bacon, and some tortilla wraps. So frankfurters are going to get sliced open, stuffed with cheese, and then wrapped with some streaky bacon, and then I'm going to pop them on these forks and then put them over the fire, and then put them in a nice wrap. You've seen me do them before on previous videos. They're absolutely delicious. Inspiration taken from the late great Rick Nagualero of YouTube, and I always do it a little bit in honour of him, really, because he was an awesome YouTuber. So yeah, let this fire settle down, get some primary fuel on it, and then I'll get cracking. There we go then, folks, all prepped. Sausages, cheese and bacon. Can you get any better? Just move that back a bit.
Oh, this is living.
Look at that. Ideally I would have liked to have had proper rolls, but I always end up crushing them in my bags. That was a bit lively. Also got shook up a bit on the cycle over this morning. Nice can of stout after me dinner. We're gonna head over to the chair and kick back for a bit. Oh, that's nice, that is.
peanut butter and honeycomb imperial stout by the local brewery, it's Moot Brewery, just a couple of miles up the road from here. Lovely. I've only got the one beer tonight, so I'm going to enjoy that one. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who commented on my last video, because it got quite a lot of interest from a lot of people, a lot of good, really good positive comments and engagement from you guys that were watching. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for that. The comments were very kind, and I'm really grateful for, you know, that little insight from you as to how you think things went on my course. And yeah, big thank you to you guys for your endearing support. Cheers. Well folks, it's about 9 o'clock now. It's getting dark in the woods. I think I'm just going to climb into my bivvy bag soon. I might have another cup of tea before bed, but then just sit here and watch the fire, I think. So I'll see you in the morning. Night night. Good morning folks. What a lovely day. Sun is rising over camp. Birds are singing. Just done the old morning ablutions and gathered some little twiglets to get the firebox going. Need to get a brew on ASAP. Gasping for tea. I haven't got my fuel, my spirit burner with me on this trip. Thought I'd go without it, so no bushcraft this morning. And I just need to get a fire in a hole ASAP. So, right, where's the petrol? Only joking. Only joking, I ain't got no petrol. Birch bark. Works 60% of the time. Every time. So I slept pretty warm last night in this bag, so I was quite pleased with that. Probably wouldn't want to sleep any lower in terms of temperature in this bag, but yeah, it's definitely comfortable. So we'll probably be using this for the next few camps, I imagine. I'm just going to get that pot on for a fast boil. And then as soon as that's boiled, I'll let that fire burn down. So I've got enough water in there for tea and porridge. So that'll be breakfast covered.
Well, there you go, folks. That was literally 2 to 3 minutes, that boil. Faster than the jet boil. This is my own homemade sort of porridge with milk powder, sugar, raisins and flaxseed. Pop that back over the heat to cook for a minute. Right, folks, there we are, that's me done, all packed away and got the bike loaded up. Really enjoyed this camp. It's been nice to get an overnighter in after that bailed course when my sort of confidence took a bit of a hit. And it's been a busy camp for me as well. I've got quite a bit done. I got the nettle cordage made, the hazel frame made for ponasse and sea bass. Practiced a bit of traditional flint and steel firelighting. Had good fun with that. Drank lots of tea. Did a little bit of whittling. Got him on board here. I'm going to drop him off somewhere on the trail on my way home. Potential health and safety hazard with it sticking out my bottle holder like that. But I'll take it easy anyway. And yeah. But as always, I've left no trace. Got my rubbish packed away in the bag with me, and I'm going to take a nice steady ride back home. It's a nice morning for it, that's for sure. So I'm going to leave you there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will doubtless bring you back soon for another video. So bye for now. See you later, mate. Take it easy.